Welcome back, Shalligators. Today, we're kind of gonna follow up on our last video, which was why it's okay if you don't want kids. And a lot of you guys pointed out in the comments that like there is this movement amongst, I don't know what we would call this kind of dude, trad dudes, like trad men who come out of the woodwork talking about how women basically have no use, no place in society, don't exist, are complete failures, hideous she-monsters if they do not have children. And I'm not talking about like your average morbidly obese incel covered in Cheeto dust in his mom's basement. I'm talking about people who I respect, like Jordan Peterson. And now, this motherfucker, Harrison Butker, who I've never heard of because why on earth would I? He plays for the Kansas City Chiefs, Travis Kelce's team, and gave a commencement speech at a college I've also never heard of, and used this time basically to shred, I don't know, as many people as he possibly could, from the president to, in the most ironic, scratch your eyes out kind of way, Taylor Swift. Because what Harrison ran his fat fucking mouth about is why women need to embrace their God-ordained vocation of marrying and birthing. And basically, if they don't, they're failures. Why do men care if women have kids? Like, what is this? Because I feel like this is kind of a new rhetoric and a new push that we've been hearing lately. Again, not just from the fatties and the uglies, but from people like Dr. Jordan Peterson, who I quote, who I follow, who I respect a lot. And he goes so hard on this procreation thing. So does Elon Musk, another person I respect and admire. So does Andrew Tate, a person who I respect and admire Jordan and Elon. Tate, everything with Andrew Tate comes back to that jawline for me. The lack of the jawline and the lack of hair. I mean, if that man had hair and if that man had a chin, he might actually be a viable member of society. But he's not, and it explains almost everything. Blech. Okay, I've never done this. Butted into a video with a voice note. I had to add something, and this felt like the perfect place. Do you know what Harrison Butker's mother did for a living? Yes, she had a job. No, it wasn't like professional sandwich maker. She was a physicist. She was a goddamn medical physicist. I don't even know what that is, but I've heard that that's what she was. What? It all makes sense. It all makes sense because when you realize that men are either trying to replicate their moms or destroy their moms, oh, suddenly we get it. Suddenly kind of feels like maybe Harrison's mama wasn't around all that much. And so he hates the woman with the job because he didn't get the blue cup when he watched his favorite show. This all makes sense. So please, as we go through this video, add this to everything I'm going to say about the psychology of trad men. You have to look at their moms. If their mom was a little too independent, they're probably going to swing to the other direction. If they're like a weakling with no chin and lips where it kind of looks like if they talk, they're just like slobbering and spitting. Like, I think that's what we've got here. Okay, back to the video. So we're going to talk about Harrison. We're going to break down his absolutely unhinged commencement address. But listen, he was saying some things in there that I do vibe with. He was. But as with so many men, they get close to making sense and then they just go off the cliff, right? I'm going to break down the psychology of why men think this way and how we can combat that idea that you are not really a person and your life is a complete failure if you don't have children. If that messaging kind of starts to sink in, or if that's the messaging you've been brought up with, how you can undo that, because I'm going to explain to you what's actually beneath it. And sweetheart, it really doesn't have that much to do with you. But before we get started, we have some really amazing things. Okay, first and foremost, a New York meetup. The bitch is back, honey. That's right. I'm coming back to Manhattan. And on June 7th, we are doing a Shalligator meetup. It's going to be a live Q&A. We're going to have some cocktails, some canapes. And listen, these events are more than just meeting me because like I'm mid, whatever. I mean, you're going to hang out with me. Like we're going to hug, we're going to talk, we're going to take pictures and all that good stuff. But it's about meeting each other because as alpha females, it's hard to make friends. I mean, we're doing a lot of real shit. We might not always vibe with the people we're around. They might be just on a completely different path than we are. I'm trying to be diplomatic here, but it can be hard to make friends. I go to these events and I come in, you know, like I let the girls like socialize a little bit. And by the time I come in, everyone is best friends. Like everyone's like making plans to go to PF Chang's after. Like 12 girls went to dinner after my Newport meetup. Everyone's in the group chat. It's selling out pretty fast, so come and get your seat. Also, Italy. We've got not one, but 2 Italy trips this fall. We are doing the Amalfi Coast in early September, and a month later we are doing Rome, Tuscany, Florence. The Amalfi Coast also includes Rome. So within the next day or 2, these are going to launch. If you want to be the first to know about it, click down below the link and enter your email so that I can blast it out to you when they are live. These trips are going to sell out. They're super small. They're nice. I'm not a budget traveler, and I'm not taking you on a budget ass trip. I'm taking you on a bougie, Pinterest perfect, beautiful, luxury, aesthetic, warm sisterhood, educational, cultural, everything once in a lifetime trip. I mean, it's just gonna be so amazing. I can't wait. Yeah, they're gonna launch in the next few days. We're just getting some last minute details finalized, and then we're ready to rock and roll. They're coming up soon, so don't forget to secure your spot. This guy. Okay. I was avoiding this because I don't appreciate men who have these kinds of beards. I don't like to look right at them. You know, I think when you have a big beard like that, you're masking something, a weak chin. And you know what I always say, weak chin, weak character. All right? God told you that you needed to just keep on breastfeeding. Babies don't have chins so that they can breastfeed. What are you hiding, Harrison? What are you hiding? Okay, so this idiot gives a commencement address at a college called Benedictine College. Cool. So let's read some highlights. He started it by saying, "It's safe to say that over the years, I've gained a reputation for speaking my mind." I have no idea who you are. And then he started by talking about COVID. And he's like, COVID might have played a large role throughout your formative years, and it's not unique. And then he talked about bad policies and poor leadership that have negatively impacted major life issues. Things like abortion, IVF, surrogacy, euthanasia, as well as growing support for the degenerative cultural values in media, all stem from the pervasiveness of disorder. Okay, so like the world is in disorder, and all of this is like fruit of the poison tree. For the ladies present today, congratulations on an amazing accomplishment. I want to speak directly to you briefly because I think it's you, the women, who have had the most diabolical lies told to you. Some of you may go on to lead very successful careers in the world, but I would venture to guess, oh, you want to mansplain our dreams to us? I would venture to guess that the majority of you are most excited about your marriage and the children you will bring into this world. Talking about his wife. I can tell you that my beautiful wife, Isabel, would be the first to say, but she's not allowed to say because the first to say that her life truly started when she started living her vocation as a wife and a mother. He said he's beyond blessed because Isabel would convert to the faith, become my wife, and embrace one of the most important titles of all, homemaker. Isabel's dream of having a career, is there a cigarette stuck in my hair? There's cigarette fluff in my hair. Isabel's dream of having a career might not have come true. So she had the dream. She had the dream. Might not have come true. But if you ask her today, have you asked her, Harrison? If you ask her today if she has any regrets about her decisions, she would laugh out loud without hesitation and say, hey, no. Then this man went on to cite Taylor Swift lyrics, calling Taylor, not even using her name, said, my teammate's girlfriend said familiarity breeds contempt. So, okay, I'm just making sure here that this man talking about how women shouldn't work and they should birth is name checking the most successful woman that this culture has seen in a millennia. Am I getting this right? Am I getting this right? The most successful woman who isn't Queen Elizabeth, and pick one of the Queens Elizabeth, that he's talking about her. Okay. Okay. I just want to make sure that I've got this right. Well, like I said, he said a few things that made sense because, as we know, a broken clock is right twice a day. Talk to the men. He said, be unapologetic in your masculinity and fight against the cultural emasculation of men. To the gentleman here today, part of what plagues our society is this lie that has been told you that men are not necessary in the home or communities. As men, we set the tone of the culture. And when that is absent, disorder, dysfunction, and chaos set in. The absence of men in the home is what plays a large role in the violence we see all around the nation. He is right. He is right about that. I don't want to hear men apologizing for being men. I don't want to hear the soy boy beta males have a voice at all. Okay? I don't want to hear these fucking people put on a wig, say that they're a woman, erase women, gaslight me and tell me that I'm transphobic, that I'm this and that because I am not buying into their delusion meant to oppress women and erase us. I'm not doing that. I am also not buying into the horseshit that women should pay for dates. I'm not buying into the horseshit that women don't need men. Of course we do. Because what's the alternative? We don't need men? Oh, we get to do it all? Wow, how fun. How liberating. I feel so fucking liberated when I'm doing everything. We did a video for Women's Day about trad wives, women who just want to stay home and they want to care for the kids and tend the garden and cook. And I was like, fucking get it, man. I get it. And in our last video about why it's okay if you don't have kids, I made the comparison that trad wives and career women, which I consider myself, I don't want children. I don't have children. I'm cool without them. I'm very happy with the way my life is. I want a partner, but I don't want kids. We are on the opposite end of the same spectrum. And in a way, we kind of meet around at the same place, which is, I have my lane. Please don't tell me that I have to do it all. I don't want to. But I also pointed out that women are supposed to want to. And as long as we're trying to do it all, she's a career woman, but they're doing IVF. She really wants a baby. It's like, oh, okay. Then she gets a pass. She wants kids. She just doesn't have them. Same with the trad wife. Ew, she just wants to stay home. No, she has a little side hustle. Oh, okay. She's still trying to do it all. If a woman has the audacity to say, no, that's not for me. No, I get that it makes you feel more comfortable. I don't want to do that. Get fucked. Whatever side of the fence you're on, very unnerving. People don't like it. They don't like it at all. Why? Why is there this push from men? And as I said, educated men. Elon, Jordan. I don't know if we can call this motherfucker. What does he even do on the team? Is he kick thing? Oh, who cares? I don't care. He's a kickball player. Cute. Why? What is their boner about women having to have kids? They don't have kids. If you don't have a child, if your life is not somehow tied to a man and approved of by a man, then you kind of don't exist. You kind of don't exist. Let me read you something that one girl said in the Shallon, which is brilliant and I love it. Lana, I'm sorry, I gotta tell you about it. Lana, I gotta read your thoughts. My thing with his speech, I'm sorry, is when he said, your life doesn't begin until you embrace your true vocation of marriage and motherhood. I have a doctorate and I've worked my whole adult life for it. His speech insinuates that women like me might as well not exist because if we're not tied to a man, our life has no purpose. That's true. And you know what? Maybe these men are coming from a place of, well, I have to have a purpose. Otherwise, women don't want to look at me. If I don't work and produce, I'm of no use to society. You're right. You're right. I'm sorry, what else are you going to do with your time, though? Like, I know what I do with my time. I work. You're not going to birth. So what would you say you do here if you're not working and producing? Jordan, Elon, Harrison, Andrew, what are you fucking doing? I know what I'm doing. I'm doing the same things you're doing because that's the thing. I have to also do that. No, you can stay home. But see, that relies on the construct that a man is going to be able to earn enough money for both me and our family and our offspring and keep me in the manner to which I could provide for myself. And this is the thing guys don't realize. They think they're competing against other men. They're actually competing against us. And maybe they do realize that. Hold on, they do. Because that right there is the crux of this pathology. If we birth, if we stay home, we're not a threat anymore. We're no longer competition in the boardroom. We have our little box and it's on a shelf. And guess who controls that shelf? They do. They do. Because you have to look at the logic behind these things. I love unpacking logic. I love unpacking psychology. I have literally a degree in unpacking logic and arguments. I have a degree in rhetorical criticism. A lot of my peers became trial lawyers and in another life, I wish. But when I look at the logic, when I try to unpack logic, and if I can't find logic, that tells me this is an emotional appeal versus a logical one. What am I saying? Why would you want people to have kids they don't want? Why would you encourage people to do something that is relentless, unchangeable, you can't undo it, lifelong, expensive, confusing, emotional, difficult, makes them a target? Why would you want them to engage in that endeavor if they don't want to do it? And by the way, this endeavor affects all of society. It doesn't happen in a vacuum. This endeavor, this product that they're going to produce will be spat out into society for better or for worse. And you want people to do this if they don't want to? Why? Why? Like, yes, Harrison, I agree with you. Not having men in the home is very disruptive to upbringings. Yeah, no shit. Men need to stay with the people they impregnate. Try it. But let's pull back a few more feet, Harrison. If you could. Can you do that? Or are you too busy picking lice out of your beard? Yeah, it's bad if there's no man in the home. It's worse if the mom doesn't want the baby there in the first fucking place. Look around society. I was raised by a single mom who very, very, very much wanted me. Never for one shadow of a second was I ever made to feel unwanted. Not ever. Not ever. I know people with two parents and siblings and uncles and grandparents, and you know what the message they got was? I never wanted you. I never really wanted kids, and yet here you are. And those people are fucked up. I am doing great. Psychologically, I am far better off than they are, because what matters more than having a dad around is having parents who actually fucking want you. And I'm probably preaching to the choir right now. I'm sure there was a lot of you who are like, yeah, no, I had two parents who made me feel pretty unwanted. And it's really been difficult, okay? So why would you encourage that outcome? Why on earth would somebody encourage people to have a baby if they didn't want to? Because it's power. There is no logic behind the argument to encourage people to do something that, like I said, is lifelong, expensive, painful, unrelenting, if they don't really want to be there because of the detrimental effect it is going to have on society. So if you cannot find logic behind an argument, you must find emotion. And when you're dealing with men, do you know what that emotion is? Power and ego. And therefore, insecurity. It's insecurity. If a woman is at home, she's not in the boardroom. She's not working at the power station with him. She is not competition. She is less of a threat. If she is pregnant, she is also much less likely to get all uppity and stand up to you, because what the fuck is she going to do? Leave? With what money? He controls the bank account. With what car? That's his car that he bought her. With what, 3 kids? Where's she going to go? To all her friends' house? She doesn't have any friends. She stays at home. She's not out for girls' nights. She's not making friends with her coworkers. She's not getting all these ideas about what her life should be like. She's contained. She's isolated. If there's one thing we know about the victim and abuse, If there's one thing we know about the victim and abuser pathology, isolation is number one. We see that with Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. What has she done? Isolate him. Very much easier to control. It's a great idea. I mean, it's very effective. It's very effective. A woman in the home has less social connections maybe. And the social connections she has are probably other women in the home who probably wouldn't encourage her to leave because they're in the same position. And hey, sometimes misery loves company. And I'm actually not making an argument against being a trad wife and staying home. Like I said, I get the appeal. What I have a problem with, what I am rallying against, is men who think that that is the only good way a woman should live. That means you are so threatened by us, you cannot have us mixing in the same circles you're in as a man because on some level you don't think you can compete with us. Sweetheart, you're right. You might be the smartest person in the room until I walk in the room. Oh. And you can try, these men can try to run this fucking game on me. Your life has no meaning without kids. Who asked you, Elon? Who asked you, Jordan? Like, it's just funny that men say things like this. It's like, was I waiting for your opinion? Like, where are you getting this from? Where are you getting this from? But I also understand that some of you guys might not have only heard this from Jordan and Elon and I don't even remember his name now. The beard, the lice beard from, the pirate lice beard. You might have been hearing this from your family. And it's like, oh no, I did ask his opinion. He's my dad. And I do care what they think. They're my sisters. That's my mom. These are my best friends. These are the people at my college, at my church. I get this everywhere. With respect, fuck them. Like, sorry, fuck their opinion. Fuck them. You can love these people and you can fundamentally disagree with them. How often do you stay up at night because your dad likes vanilla and you like chocolate? Does that keep you awake? You love country. He likes classic rock. Oh no, I have to learn to like classic rock. Have you ever thought that? Be like, I mean, it'd be nice if I like classic rock. I'm sure my dad would be psyched. We could go to like Grateful Dead cover bands together, but I don't like it, so I'm not gonna listen to it. Because it's like my time when I listen to music. It really doesn't affect my dad at all unless we happen to be in the same place and we happen to be working together for a common goal of picking a playlist for like a family party or something. But when I'm living my life, I'm gonna listen to what I wanna listen to. Why is this different with kids? Your dad's not taking care of your kids. He's certainly not birthing them out, breastfeeding them. You know, they'll chew your nipples off. I don't even want to get into it. He's not dealing with how that will affect your marriage if you don't want kids and someone does it, and those differentials. He might not be financially supporting you. And if he is, you need to grow the fuck up and get out on your own 2 feet so these people don't get to have a vote in your life. Financial freedom is the foundation of all freedom. And the reason I am able to push back against my family's expectations is because I don't take money from them. Like, that has never been the vibe. That has never been the vibe. Because I want to be in charge of my decisions. When someone else is pulling the purse strings, they actually do get a vote. When you're living in their house, they do get a vote. And that sucks. So you need to grow up, stand on your feet. I don't care if you rent a room on the weird side of town, do it if it means you are now in control of your life. All right, it's time. But let's go back to this music analogy. I use this because I want to point out to you that you already have the framework in place to live your life for yourself. As much as you might think you are controlled and oppressed and indoctrinated by your family, hold on. I bet if you pull back, there are areas, even if they're as small as country versus classic rock, where you're like, no, I do this my way. I'm sorry you don't like it. Build on that. I want you to start there. Even if it's small, even if it's silly. My mom doesn't like the kind of shoes I wear, but I don't want to wear her kind of shoes. Cool. She wears shoes with Velcro, minor heels. This is the differential. And you build on that and you build outward and outward and outward and outward. This is not necessarily something that happens over time. To break the indoctrination of our family It is difficult. It's as difficult as getting out of a cult. I mean, you can drive away from the cult. The cult lives in here. And you need to deprogram yourself bit by bit by bit. I actually have a lot of friends who grew up in a cult. There was a cult out in Montana, and like I know a lot of people who grew up in it, and that I've like weirdly gone down rabbit holes researching how to deprogram from a cult. And it's this. It is this. It's, I always say Pepsi versus Coke. What do you like? Chocolate or vanilla? Country or classic rock? You make choices for yourself, and you just work outward and outward and outward and outward. This is our life's work. Ideally, it happens overnight. But if it doesn't, that's okay. It's progress, not perfection. And as you're working outward, I want you to remember that because these arguments are very little rooted in logic, they are rooted in emotion, which is power. Underneath that, ego. And underneath that, insecurity. And you might be saying, well, hold on. Harrison fucking what's-his-lice has a different insecurity motivation for wanting women to like stay home barefoot and pregnant than like my parents do. They truly believe that I will be happier if I have kids. Everyone who likes something feels this way. I, in my heart of hearts, cannot fathom why anyone would not like the song Espresso. Makes no sense to me. I don't get it. I don't get it. How much time do I spend exerting that will on other people? That would be zero. That would be zero. This is again part of our life's work. We have to understand that the things we like and the things we believe deeply in just don't hit for some people. They just don't. Why do you need it to? Well, because your life would be better if you listened to Espresso every single morning. Your life would be better. Okay? Then their life is just going to be worse. Can't save them all. We would love it I would love it if your parents were watching this video and that was like speaking to them and like, oh yeah, I loved having kids. Vanessa, it's just not her espresso, okay? I think she would be happier. She doesn't agree. This is parenthood. We have to let them find their own path, make their own choices. And you know what? Maybe she wouldn't actually be happier. Maybe she wouldn't. What if I, as her mother, could accept, you know what? She actually might know her own mind. Parents aren't going to say that. Why? Power, control, ego, insecurity. The chain remains. If your parents can acknowledge that you are an autonomous adult who knows your mind, and listen, your mind can change. My mind might change, I don't know. Your mind in this snapshot is, I don't think I want children, or at least I want to take in my own data and run my own conclusions myself. If they get their head around that, what does that mean for them? Because remember, the way everyone deals with everyone in the world is, what is in this for me? What does this mean about me, 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 me? We're all incredibly self-centered and narcissistic. That's how we stay alive. What it means for the me, if they're like, no, Vanessa's her own person, she is autonomous, she doesn't need me to weigh in, they suddenly have no role. They have no use. And that is a frightening thing for a parent, no matter how healthy they are. I don't think of my mom as like the traditional mommy, she just lives to serve. And yet she comes and visits me in Montana and she's like Tim the Toolman Taylor. I mean, she fixes this, she installs this, she's got the drill up, and I'm like, you don't have to do this. I can just hire someone. And she said one time, she's like, I need to feel useful. I have no use in your life anymore. And I was like, what? Like she does not seem like she would be susceptible to that pathology, like at all. She's so independent. And I'm like, you need to feel useful to me? And she's like, yeah, I'm a mom. I'm like, what? That blew my mind. And so if she feels like that, they kind of all feel like that. If for no other reason, it's just become a pattern. That's for the last, 20 years, 35 years, however old you are, for that many years and possibly beyond, That has been their central doctrine. Be useful, keep them alive, help, you know? And you might be saying, that's cute. My parents definitely don't give a fuck if they're useful to me, okay? Not at all. They're narcissists, they're toxic, they ignore me, and they're like, kids. Okay. That comes down to power, control, ego, insecurity. No matter which way you carve this up, you get the same thing in the autopsy. You see the same thing. Their chain is nefarious. I want control over you because you're just this extension of me. You're this plaything. So why the fuck are you going to listen to that person? I mean, when you think of it like that, why on earth would you listen to that person? Why would you let that person who you acknowledge doesn't really respect or value you or see you as an autonomous person at all, and for bad reasons? And so you're going to make an unchangeable, permanent, difficult life path course thing because they said so? There's no logic there. And if there's no logic there, why are you making that decision? Insecurity, ego, power, control. It's the same ladder, you're just climbing it in the opposite direction. Okay? I know. You're letting people bully you into things because of insecurity, because of your ego. You need to be accepted. You need them to see you in a good light. Power. You don't feel like you have power over your life, so you're going to offload it to someone else. Control. This will somehow give you control because you're going to be liked and validated. See, I have some control over my life. It's all the same thing. It's all the same thing. Just up or down, from this angle or from that angle. It's the same. It's the same. And so when we see these men, this movement, telling us how we should live, incredibly permanent decisions that we should make that have absolutely no motherfucking bearing on their life whatsoever. They're not, Jordan Peterson, are you going to babysit? Hey, Elon, are you going to stitch up the lady parts when they like... Are you donating Teslas to single moms? Huh? Are you? I don't know. Harrison, are you? Are you going to turn that beard oil into nipple balm? I don't think so. Just recognize where this is coming from. And then it's like, okay. And yeah, let's just say that Jordan Peterson is like, I was only happy after I had a kid. Bro, don't advertise that. Like, don't fucking advertise that. Same with this lice beard man with his wife. Her life truly started when she had a baby. Like, if my boyfriend said that about me, Shallon only really felt like she was alive when she became a YouTuber. I'd be like, shut the fuck up. Like, can you not like paint me in that light? Like I was just some like depressive sim, like waiting in the corner. I had a whole ass life. I had good times and bad times. I was a person before you anointed me with your vision, seeing me. A painting in the Louvre is stunning, a masterpiece, beautiful, no matter how many dumpy ass tourists look at it or don't. That painting exists no matter who sees it. No matter who sees it. If the museum is closed, those paintings exist. If someone walks by and they're like, I don't get it, the painting doesn't change. You are not something that is only visible when a man decides that you are. The men who want to tell you that are doing so because women aren't looking at them at all. So look, man, we're women, and that means the whole world thinks they have license to tell us how to live and what to do. And if your path is to get married and have kids, amazing, girl, good for you. Do whatever you want. Like, do whatever makes you happy. But remember that whatever path you choose, you cannot expect other people to shoulder that burden for you. remember that no one in this world has the right to tell you how to live. No one. Even if you love them, even if they are truly coming from a good place, what they believe is a good place, you have to come from your own place. And you know what? Maybe you will realize, fuck, I didn't do that right. But it will feel so much better to be wrong on your own than right because someone else pushed you into it. I know that almost seems like it doesn't make sense, but considering I have lived my life both ways, it does, because I need to be able to trust my intuition. I need to be able to trust that voice inside. And if I am just a passenger in my own life, letting other people, a board of directors, shape it for me and tell me what to do. And again, even if they're right, even if they're correct about this path and that path, it's a hollow victory because I didn't get it for myself. And it makes me frightened because on some level, I know that I didn't get it for myself. And therefore, I can't trust what would become of me if that board of directors falls away. And you know what? At some point, it will. Your parents will die. Your friends get busy. I mean, we all know what it's like. We know what this place is, where you're just so down bad and twisted over a guy that you're sending the screenshots to all your friends, and there's like 5 people on the thread, and it's like, well, what do I say? And should I change this word? And it's like, it's this exhausted feeling. You're like, Abby, can you text me back? Abby, I know you're at work, but Abby, can you text me back? Because I don't know what to text him. Where you don't trust yourself. You cannot govern yourself. It's a very vulnerable place. It's like embarrassing. It's shameful. I don't like to feel like that. I would rather make the wrong move on my own and be like, okay, what did we learn? What did we learn? Than have someone constantly pushing me around through life and leading me around. Because you know what gets led around? Pets, animals, things like that. I'm no one's fucking pet. And I can behave like an animal sometimes, that might be true. But I don't want to. I want to be everything God created me to be. And I need to find that on my own. And you need to find that on your own. So if people are putting pressure on you to live one way or the other, and maybe you want to stay home and be a trad wife, and people are like, you need to work. Spend more time alone, honestly. Like if you're in the Shallon, you have heard me kind of like go through this process where I call it like I'm on like my patience journey, but what it actually is, it's an intuition journey where I need to move in silence, not tell people what I'm doing, not tell them how I'm feeling, what I feel about the guy I'm dating or this friend of me or whatever, because I need to decide on my own how I feel. And I need to find the course of action that is right and genuine and not be always influenced from the outside. And I realize, guys, the irony of me saying this. Like, don't let people influence you when I am literally an influencer and I am barking advice to you at all times. I get it. But feel free to ignore me, you know? And my overall advice is do you. I'm not trying to push you into one direction or the other. What's right for me as a happily kid-free woman, that's not right for everyone. You know? Live your own path, because you are ultimately, we all walk our paths alone. Even if we have a partner, even if we have the best family who pulls up for us, at the end of the day and at the end of our lives even, it's just us and whoever's upstairs. So you got to be real good with both of those. Let your intuition speak to you. Spend some time alone. Let your psyche whisper to you. And again, start small. Chocolate, vanilla, country or classic rock. What works for you? What do you like? There's no wrong answer. There's never a wrong path in life. There's an inauthentic one. There's an unhealthy one. There's one that's in alignment and ones that aren't. And they're totally different for other people, right? Your alignment is someone else's like absolute hellscape and vice versa. That's okay. And as much as being so interconnected with the internet and, you know, everything, as amazing as that can be to like share new ideas and feel less alone, there has to be a point where you're like, hold on, I have taken in enough data. I need to pull back and I need to sort of crunch the numbers of what I've learned about myself and life and my experiences and the outcomes and how those made me feel and what I would do different. And I need to come up with my own thesis statement about who I am and what I want and where I want to go. And when I am rock solid in that, and again, these paths can change, they can change, but for today, this is who I am and this is what I want. You can speak that into existence and you can repel those borders with so much more grace and clarity and poise and calmness. I am very calm about not wanting kids. I don't get angry about it. I don't get mad if people ask. I don't fight it intrusive because I'm so aligned with that, that I'm like, yeah, it's like I'm explaining why I like chocolate and vanilla. It's like, I mean, I don't know why, I just do. That's great you like vanilla. That's great. I'm so happy for you. More chocolate for me, I guess. I don't know. I don't feel any type of way about it. Beware the people that do. Beware the people that have a big emotional reaction to your life choices, because what does it come down to? Control, power, ego, and insecurity. Opt out of this chain. Don't climb the ladder, and don't let anyone climb yours. Let me know what you have to say about this. I'll just be over here with my Virginia Slim. These aren't mine. My friends left them in my house. I've never smoked a cigarette in my life. How horrible is this? I look like Popeye. People smoke these? Like, okay. I will see you guys later. Don't forget to come to the New York City meetup. We're gonna do a live Q&A, like a friendship, just group hang. It's gonna be fun. These events are so much fun. Click the link down below. And if you wanna hang with me in a big way and travel and come on a trip truly of a lifetime, come to Italy. Put your email down below or click the link to put your email so you can be the first to know about my 2 new Italy trips launching sometime this weekend at the latest Monday. Okay, I'll see you later, Shalligators. Mwah!